It's Fernando Ruiz Art.
Hi everybody, and we are working on another character commission here. And if you've been following my most recent videos, you know I'm trying to get through a bunch of commissions that have come in really from our most recent Kickstarter for Die Kitty Die, Die Kitty Die Starstruck. We had the Kickstarter last year, in the spring of last year, and books are going out now, and we're also getting through all of the sketches and commissions that people have asked for during that Kickstarter, during that campaign. As with all of our campaigns, we always offer incentives for people to want to support us all the more. And one of the most popular incentives, of course, is getting private commissions, getting us to draw stuff that you specifically would like us to draw for you. So I get requests for characters of all types, superheroes, of course, the Archie characters, Die Kitty Die characters. And as always, if you guys are interested in Die Kitty Die and have not read Die Kitty Die yet, please check out diekittydie.com, and I will be sure to link to diekittydie.com in the description below, and check out our books, our merch, and please support us any way that you can. Just because you've missed the Kickstarter doesn't mean you're out of it. The books we've got all the books available. We have a lot of stuff available. So what am I drawing here specifically? I am drawing a 3/4 figure, which generally means from the thighs and up, from most of the leg and up. And in this case, this is a 3/4 figure of Jadzia Dax. If you're a Star Trek fan, and I haven't talked much about my fondness for Star Trek in these videos, but I love Star Trek. I guess you can call me a Trekkie. I could probably hold my own in most trivia. So yeah, I'm a big Star Trek fan. So this is Jadzia Dax, the Trill from Deep Space Nine. And this one goes out to a very special supporter, my buddy Dennis Budd. And Dennis is one of my former students from the Kubert School. If I remember right, Dennis was in the legendary 1A of 1997. And I remember that group very fondly because that was a good group. We had a good time in that class, and there was a lot of talented people in that class, including Dennis himself. Dennis and his buddy Joe Caramagna. And Joe's become a lettering legend in the comic book field. Joe letters just about everything for Marvel. If you haven't seen his name, then you aren't reading comic books. And then Dennis was always very talented. Even as a student, he was very talented. Very quiet and humble young man. And he's a Star Trek fan as well. And he wants a Jadzia Dax. So that's what he is getting here. And didn't specify if he wanted an Archie-fied Jadzia. So I'm just going to draw him a regular Jadzia. So I am a big Star Trek fan, and I think most of my students at one point or another will engage me in Star Trek, in my thoughts on Star Trek. And my most favorite of all the Star Treks were the original. The original. I have a fondness for most of the others, but the original is really the best one as far as I'm concerned. It's the most fun, the least pretentious of them all. I do enjoy Deep Space Nine, and I did like the character of Jadzia Dax. I thought it was a shame, not to give away spoiler alert, but I do think it was a shame how the original Jadzia, or the only Jadzia, kind of leaves the show a little too early. It was a shame. I would have had her just sort of transfer off because you have that built-in sort of military setup of Starfleet. They could always just be reassigned, transferred. You don't need to kill everybody. So I guess I kind of gave away what happens to her. It's okay. She gets replaced by another Dax. Deep Space Nine, I found it was a very uneven show, especially at the beginning. At the beginning, it was, if you ever watch it in reruns, what I tell people is you could kind of forego the first almost entirely 2 seasons, with the exceptions of a couple of episodes here and there, which might be okay. Most of seasons 1 and 2 are just kind of boring, if not outright stupid. The show gets good once the Dominion is involved. Once they find the Dominion and they're in conflict with the Dominion, and certainly it feels like the show gets better every season. And it kept getting tinkered with every season. They introduced the Dominion. They get the Defiant, the Starship Defiant. They bring Worf onto the show. The show kept getting tinkered with like that. They kept making these little changes, and at the end, interestingly enough, once. When you if you watch the whole series, I think it's by season 5 that the Dominion War begins, and that really consumes the show for the remainder of the series. Once the Dominion War starts, then what you have is every episode that deals with the war itself is most likely a really good episode. Episodes that don't deal with the war are probably a chore to get through. Anything that dealt with the Bajoran religion, I just tune out. Anything that deals with the freakish romances of either Odo and Kira, or Dax and Worf. Dax and Worf was a little bit more tolerable because the stuff between Odo and Kira was just outright sappy and really just tread all over the otherwise cool character that Odo could have been. Okay, I gotta give her comm badge. And that's how the later seasons tended to go. You'd have a great episode having to deal with the war, usually some really good combat, and you had, they started showing ships galore at that point. And then for every episode like that, you'd have about 2 that would deal with their personal lives, and it would just be kind of sappy and outright boring sometimes. So that's unfortunately the dichotomy of later later Deep Space Nine. And actually, since I kind of nearly mentioned it there, it's also the that kind of schism, that kind of inconsistency is also present in the later seasons of Star Trek The Next Generation. And Star Trek The Next Generation, I really want to like that show. They've got great characters. They've got great actors. It's a very likable show. But a lot of times that show got boring. That show got boring and outright silly. It seemed like a show so steeped in political correctness that it seemed like it felt like it was a sin to ever get interesting. It avoided battles and fights like the plague. I get that they were trying to get away from just becoming the adventures of Captain Kirk again, but you know, you can still be an interesting show. You don't have to make everything boring. Okay, so Jadzia is just about done here in terms of the pencils. As with most, if not all, of our commissions here, Jadzia is going to be in color. So I will be coloring her. I will be inking her and coloring her. Won't be doing those as a video just because I got a lot of these to get through, and I really want to draw them all. But please follow me on social media, and I do post all of my social media links in the description below. They're always there, so you can always get a hold of me that way. Follow me on social media, and you'll definitely see the final result. Because I post everything on my social media. I'm a huge attention whore, so feed me my attention. All right, so really most of what's left is to just fill in the black of her costume. I may do that in the inks, or I may do that with pencil. As you can see, a little bit of what I started to do. And just to mention it, I may leave some highlights. That way her costume isn't just a total flat black shape, but there is a little bit of definition and volume to her body. And she isn't just a flat silhouette. Some areas, yeah, she will be largely black, but a few strategic highlights here and there can also make her seem a little bit more three-dimensional. Give her outfit some folds here and there. Separate some of her anatomy, like one leg from the other, and I think we pretty much have our Jadzia. What do you think? Would you beam her up? And I know, I've left out her trademark spots, her Trill spots, which would adorn up around their forehead and down her cheeks a little bit and down her neck. I'm going to do those in color. So once again, check out my my social media to find the end result here. And Dennis, I hope you're happy. I hope you'll enjoy your Jadzia, and you won't be ashamed of what your old master, what your old teacher drew for you. Okay, so that's it for this one. Thanks a lot for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, and if you did, please click like. Please subscribe. We're almost at 1,000 subscribers. Hopefully by the time this airs, we're there. And hit that bell. Hit that bell so you are reminded and notified of new videos. And make sure you've hit that bell. Make sure you've subscribed. Okay, and make sure that you keep on drawing. Okay? See you next time, everybody. Keep drawing.